Welcome back to your pick a card. As we get started, thank all of you guys for tuning in. We are doing something a little bit different today, just a tad bit, not a lot. All right. I will say that it is entitled Brutally Honest Day because most of us, as influencers, readers, holistic practitioners, we do focus on the bright side. Myself, being a hypnosis therapist, engaging in quantum healing, as well as actually just naturally being an upbeat person, I do focus on encouragement and, as a creator, entertainment. Um, but deep down inside, I'm a very practical, honest person, and sometimes it's not always appreciated in the entertainment realm. So I have learned to balance myself as Pisces sun sign, right? I balance what is intuitive and true with the collective and what's best for them. How about that? And so the Brutally Honest Day is something that I came up with, I think in 2016, 2015, before Facebook blew up and was glorified for the ranting. I was the rant queen. Thankfully, going to law school helped pull me out of that energy as I had to monitor my social interactions because I was the office manager and paralegal for a celebrity, now celebrity entertainment, a celebrity attorney that actually ran for a political party in Texas. So shout out to him. Yeah, so that pulled me back some, which I appreciate. And being a mom and just a high caliber lifestyle, it was like the ranting, you shouldn't feel that deeply about things. Focus on something positive or that makes sense. So when people get to ranting and they think it's giving advice or therapy for them, I ain't got the energy for it. But Brutally Honest Day was when I Buns is the realest. I don't know if you guys know me well. Those of you who are new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. But that is my real name. My last name is Buns. And so when I'm brutally honest, okay, that's what people normally call me by my last name. So Brutally Honest Day. I want to set a disclaimer that it is not negative. This is not bashing. It's not going to be negative. But when I say brutally honest, I'm preparing the collective for true tarot, which most of you know true tarot because you shy away from it and, gravitate toward captions that are less realistic but feel good and look good. Then you complain in the comments about it never coming to pass for you. So I'll also take the opportunity, if I have your attention, to address like why Pisces TV changed, and because I favor Pisces for being a huge part of the collective, I didn't substitute reading for Pisces to like read for another sign, and even like all signs. It was kind of like taboo because my focus is in quantum healing, hypnosis therapy, um, galactic shit, cosmic shit, angels communicating, being a bridge. It's bigger than entertainment and just horoscope. So it was easy for me to make that decision. However, in all honesty, since it's Brutally Honest Day, I don't see how um, the high percentages of Pisces haven't noticed that a lot of readers read for Pisces because you guys saturate YouTube and they coddle you. They treat you like babies or like you're not wrapped tight to tell you things that you want to hear and you come back for it. They make up shit. They tell y'all all kind of shit. I sit and listen to it. Most of the Pisces from my collective, they watch less videos. It kicked me in the ass, but I sat and I talked to Spirit about it. I appreciated it because they let go. They grew up. They became readers, or they didn't look to tarot to narrate their lives. They accepted the life that they got, or they, you know, got into some deeper shit to manifest the life that they want. But a lot of these soul ties and soul contracts that we reincarnate with, and these memories that we reincarnate with, right? I'm staying on topic here. We do got the Six of Cups, and this kind of led to me being brutally honest today because of the spread, the no communication subject, possibly relationships. Could be any type of relationship, doesn't have to just be intimate, but you guys may be not in communication with family, a friend, a lover, or something like that. Even your higher selves, you may not be currently, you know, right there with your higher self or your guide. So something may not be communicated, but the good news is we are going to get to why this Eight of Wands is here, and this Ace of Cups, or by this new moon energy, how it changes and someone is crowned. But we have to talk about these memories. We have to talk about the children, the star seeds. We have to talk about growth. We have to talk about recognizing that. And it's connected to something that's near and dear to me, which is past life regression, which changed my life, which got me from being just the average blocked Joe coming to tarot to get some understanding, not even motivation. I was seriously looking for answers. And I just catapulted over the years into a leadership position. I'll say that. So, brutally honest day. And closing the rant that I was just having about Pisces and the collective. I don't like readers that get on YouTube and out other readers and say what they doing and how it ain't right and all this and that. You part of the collective. Shut your trap. Do your thing and leading people alone, right? So I'm not down talking anybody. Even if you've seen me in the comments of some of y'all readings for Pisces talking shit, I can do that. I'm a YouTuber, as in someone who watches YouTube, and I can freely comment in the chat without it being tied to, oh, she's a reader or it's competition. No, it's just, I felt like saying that in the chat that day as a observer, right? Yeah. So I'm a Pisces sun, Aquarius moon. I am Pisces rising. And because of some miscommunication with the timing of my birth, I always was under the impression I was Gemini rising, but definitely Pisces rising, depending on how you put the information in and what calculator you use. So I just wanted to say that, to say there's no projecting, there's no hatred toward Pisces. I am the epitome of Pisces. I am dead smack in the center of Pisces. I'm not close to Aquarius. I'm not close to Aries. I am Pisces, baby. Know that. Okay? I'm like the most amazing Pisces I know. Like, I'm so well-rounded. You know, I got all that shit they think about Pisces, but I'm everything else they think we can't be, which is how I got into a leadership position. So anyway, I became annoyed with it because I'm a Pisces, and I like tarot. I like to watch tarot. I have my favorite readers who also have a thing with Pisces that I just laugh about. But either you love us or hate us, right? The ones that love Pisces, using them. The ones that hate Pisces are being honest with you. And I from what I've observed on YouTube, I'm not talking about your personal lives. The readers that are honest, that have gifts, that channel messages, that are just doing their jobs, y'all don't really fuck with them. I noticed that. And these are people that Spirit and I have sat and talked about that have real gifts and are not just interpreting and flipping cards. These people can channel actual shit and messages that are happening for you and to you yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That is a gift. That is not just, oh, okay, we got the King of Pentacles today, and if you put that next to the Six of Moons, you know, somebody's learning lessons and growing through experiences. Yeah. Nah, these motherfuckers is real life doing some things, you know? And they're not as big as I feel like they could be or should be, but maybe that's their own personal energy, right? However, who is And I ain't pocket watching, but who is, um, you know, benefiting when it comes to Pisces? Not YouTube. I'm not watching numbers. Just when it comes to Pisces, where are they? Who's benefiting? And it's some cool ass readers. I will say that y'all into this ghetto index card gossipy shit. That's y'all problem. So y'all blowing up people who put y'all in this cesspool of drama where everybody hates y'all. They hating on y'all. Y'all for to blow up. Y'all for to shine. Y'all like that goofy shit. With these index cards that ain't got shit to do with tarot or channeling. They're entertainers and I respect it. And then y'all love the coddlers. Yeah, they hurt you. Yeah, this thing might turn around. Yeah, they just didn't see you for what you was worth. And God is going to get them and lift you up and they're going to see all that. And then so I'm sitting thinking to myself, if these people did all these things to you, I want you to sit back and understand God let them. So while you hyped up Crunk getting coddled to, right, for these views, with these readers telling y'all, yeah, God gonna get them and God see you and you chosen and you just had to go through this and da 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 da. Then why come the other people didn't have to go through it? And how God let this happen to you? Some of y'all 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it has consumed predominantly your entire subconscious and conscious mind. Why God let them do that? God let them do all of this to you on purpose for this great thing that's finna happen to you that you can admit ain't happened yet, right? Because they coddling you and you letting them. So the coddlers that join you in victimhood and make everybody else the bad guy, y'all like that. And then, like I said, these ghetto index card flipping motherfuckers that tell y'all everybody want to be y'all and all that goofy shit, knowing they don't. You know fuck well these people in your environment do not want to be you. I love Pisces because I'm a Pisces. I also know the elements. I know all of these signs in front of us. And it ain't many people outside of those that are in the arts or spirituality that acknowledge Pisces for anything other than being toxic, emotional, or unstable. So tell me again, all these people want to be y'all. Seriously? So yeah, that's the spiel. If you're offended, great. I don't give a fuck. That's why I don't do the readings no more for a specific sign in the first place, because that was dead ass true. And not any coddling nor any ill will. It's a fucking fact and you know it. And if you sit there and say that it's not a fact, you goofy. And I don't want goofy collectives. Like, I like YouTube. I know that regardless of who you are as a person, I would still get paid. I would still get a view. But I'm a person of high caliber with integrity. You know, the confidence, the pedigree, you know, I don't need no goofy anything. So and then I'm not I even remove myself from being an entertainer, which is why I let the entertainers entertain, because I'm consider myself and my family the people that would be entertained, like a host, you know? If I'm a host and I'm throwing an event at my estate or at an establishment or here on YouTube, I'm to be entertained, right? It's my birthday. So I don't shuck and jive and be like trying to entertain motherfuckers for shit. Even money. Money, views, none of that, because at the end of the day, to me, if I were to become an entertainer, I'm shucking and jiving and no longer the host. So that's me. Now don't be offended and say, oh well, I'm an entertainer. I fuck with you. I would pay you. I would respect you and pay you and tip. I give people more than they ask me for. Motherfuckers say my reading's $17, $20. It's all kind of OG tarot readers that I can recall and name drop that I went to for information before I really learned tarot, say that they charge $10, $20 for a reading. I get a motherfucker $100. And she's still to this day on this motherfucker negative, looking crazy, talking shit. But you know, back in the day, I fucked with her, and now she ain't grew, so I don't fuck with that. Still say the same shit. Um, but I'm just telling you guys that regardless of how this is coming off, I'm a genuine person. I'm very supportive, and I'm a team player. So getting to the brutally honest, why did I do this? Because it's a liar, it's some cheaters, and it's some people that genuinely may have reconnections with others that come into unison with them. I am a huge fan of rom-coms, okay? I am a huge fan of the high school sweethearts actually becoming husband and wife. I'm a huge fan of childhood sweethearts actually becoming physically married in this dimension, in this time. I'm a huge fan of that. And I think that it's super deep, dope, loving, and just sexy for the good guy to win, for dreams to come true, for magic to happen, um, to the point to where I too, as a Pisces, if I truly wanted something or believed it in my heart, couldn't nobody tell me shit. So if some of you here that may be on the side of the fence of let that shit go, that ain't gonna let it go, and I admire that because I'm like that. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm 50-50 though, because my comprehension level, my intelligence, and being guided divinely is like right here. And then this unconditional ride or die, martyr, I'm holding on for the rest of my life type shit is like right there. So that's how it inspired me to be brutally honest, because it's those two things actually that's happening for some of you, where partially there's this you incarnated to master the third dimension, as in manipulating it and utilizing the physical experiences to alter your energy. You have memories in your cells that make you feel and think certain things and choose certain things and vibrate with certain things that keep you in a loop, because you're currently reenacting a lifetime or an experience, sometimes with a person, sometimes with a place, with a thing, or a new person that reminds you of that person. Now, it's my job, my real job, like my sole purpose, to remove that from you, which is going to come into conflict with coddling you and entertaining you, right? So I was like, yay, Spirit, I get to be me today in this reading, because otherwise it's YouTube and tarot is entertainment, and these are general messages, and trust your intuition. Do not take this for fact value. And it's mostly good news, right? So, yeah, your memory cells and or early childhood development and behavioral issues. It's not funny, but some of y'all know y'all crazy. Some of y'all, and not crazy as in something derogatory. I'm talking about hilarious and funny. Some of us, okay, whether you're a water sign, water moon, earth moon, fire sign, whatever, it could be very loyal and dedicated, almost obsessive. Um, have a hard time letting go, or let something happen 122 times before you decide to let go. And when you let go, you still come back to it a year later, 2 years later. And it goes on for a lifetime, energetically, mentally. Even if you never get with this person, you stop calling them, you stop blocking them, it's still in there. It's a behavior, these are thoughts, it's an emotion. And you're currently possibly in separation from a person like that because communication came in. So we'll get started, right? I might do the timestamps in case nobody want to hear the other shit I said. Communication comes in. That was the first card. And I love that it's like the little Ouija board shindig, and we got two moons and they're in the opposite directions. So it gives me like the twins. Look, shout out to Pisces and Gemini. Okay. And then this little circle down here with the stars is giving like some sort of planet, and the moon or the sun, right? So just imagine the sun with two moons is like a dude with two chicks. But I'm sure that's not happening in this particular situation. it was just funny, like a full moon and then two crescent moons. It could be timelines because you got a full moon, two crescent moons, and a new moon. And some of you follow energies like that, portals like that, opportunities like that, or loops like that, where you go long stretches without talking and then all of a sudden you talk. Or you go long stretches with setting healthy boundaries and then all of a sudden you think about them or they think about you and then this, there, that, and other. So when I saw the King of Pentacles, I believe it's Virgo energy. It's earth energy. It's teacher, it's wisdom, it's practical. So either I'm supposed to be practical with you or you going to be practical with yourself, because here this Six of Cups is that could be a heavy influence. So let's just go with the clarifiers as I talk about the cards, because I didn't even think the intro was going to go that long, but I love it, even if two of y'all watch it. Here is a practical marriage, a practical partner, a practical relationship. Here is lessons. Lessons with a ring. Could talk about Saturn, could talk about returns, could talk about karma and dharma, because rings usually represent loops, infinity, a connection, a commitment. That's why they put it on the heart ring. And so if I'm being literal about relationships, it could talk about marriage, which is going to bring up contracts. If this is like cosmic, individual, this is your commitment. What is your commitment? What is your purpose? Commitment could be of essence. Okay. Some of you could be married and have children, but then here the shit hit the fan. And I didn't get excited, but it was like, ooh, truth serum. Ooh, a little bit of entertainment, comic relief. This was life. I was like, oh, we're doing this today. So you have the Six of Moons, which is kind of like the Six of Cups, and it's shivery, it's sweet. This is a practical lover, a marriage, a commitment, sweetness, and shivery. If it is this person that you're not communicating with, there is still an opportunity for some of you to move forward and take action after leaving something alone, or some self-love and some time alone, or dealing with some emotions to grow, right? That is true. That is good news. I love that. Also, okay, you got the man card came out first. Well, actually, no, it didn't. Let me stop lying. You have the fox. The fox connects to the King of Pentacles as a teacher, as wisdom. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When you're ready to go to the next level, when you are ready to whatever you're trying to manifest, a teacher, a student type situation, there it is. This can be favorable because you have practical partners that come in. You can have soul contracts and obligations with them, and they're to help you learn to love yourself or show you what a real relationship is like. I think that is super dope. You also have other charming, conniving little motherfuckers that are catalysts in certain situations for personal growth, for soul development, and how you choose to react, respond, and make choices throughout that situation is your opportunity to maneuver through the energy that you came here to transmute, right? When I saw the cloud and the fox, it connects me to Mercury. We are currently in Mercury retrograde, which could have something to do with, as usual, the no communication, the thoughts, the memories, or the communication itself. The cloud sometimes connects to confusion. The cloud sometimes connects to options. Maybe there are two options. Two options is the Lover's card. Two peas in a pot, could be, but one is confused. The other one is a great companion. Okay? One is charming, conniving, and a teacher. The other is a companion and a friend. All right? There could be two choices, two lovers, two thoughts. Now we have a man on one end, so I was like, oh shit. The man is the dog, but that was toxic. That's silly. It did come up. Some of you think like that. I don't, right? You think somebody looks good, but everything that look good may not be good for you. So it's a companion or a friend or somebody that's going to bite your hand. So then the woman came out and I was like, oh shit. And then the whip came out. Now she is water. He is fire. That is feminine and masculine. On the masculine end, a friend, a companion that's sometimes confused, going back and forth between being genuine and being manipulative. Then it's like this whip. So is she whipping him into shape and giving him a run for his money? Or is she whipped on somebody that is a dog and confusing because they cute? So that's where we had that. We also have decision making and, like I said, choices. So then with the new moon, I didn't really see it as the Ace of Cups until like I had channeled a shitload of information like that 20-minute intro. So I do see the Ace of Cups, which could talk about new feelings, the subconscious clearing it out, offering something. The new moon is also about letting go. So I was like, okay, once something is let go of, possibly within the subconscious or in the emotions, this Eight of Wands says that the messages come in. Some actions are taken. Someone goes the distance, but there's movement and motion. So I thought that was super dope. And look at that. The reason why I knew this new moon was significant to letting something go or clearing out the subconscious, you have scissors. And scissors are used normally only for one thing. It's like cutting stuff, cutting cords. It also gives two swords. So if there's a block, emotional block, no communication, we're not going to get the advice from our higher selves and our guides because we're blocked. And or we're not getting through to this person because they blocked, right? It's not you, it's them. If they are emotionally unavailable or dealing with some stuff, whether it has something to do with you or not, you can't do nothing about it. Okay? If their guides and God itself, ain't came to do nothing about it, you would be in a very toxic martyr phase to feel that it is you that is to do something to or for this person. Like you the catalyst that brings about some sort of change in their lives. That could be true. Not going to hold you. I can't say that it's not true. Usually in those cases, though, it's divinely guided and there's not a lot of friction in that. One person is praying for that, manifesting that, and the other person shows up to deliver that manifestation. It's not usually somebody's blocked, cut off, and telling you to fuck off, or their actions have shown that, and you refuse to let go. That's usually not how it goes. And even in the rom-coms, they're in unison with this relationship. It's not one person that feels it and remembers it and just knows what it's supposed to be, and the other person running, refusing it. That's not how the rom-com go. The rom-com is both of these people love each other, but it's bad timing. And when they try, you don't want to. And when you try, it's some shit with them. It like goes back and forth. If it's just been super one-sided like this whole time for you guys, that scissor is for you. The benefit though, once all that is said and done, we got actions. We got the Eight of Wands. I never seen a wand in a position like a sword, so it made me feel like a lot of communication, a lot of text messages, maybe even coming to see you if you guys stay at a distance. But it does talk about action. So while we sitting in this nostalgic phase, some of you ain't got shit to do with none of this, and you just listening because, ooh, it sounds a little juicy. You don't have a dog in the fight, but could be interested in marriage or a practical partner, or may even be in a healthy relationship and married. And it just says that there was a block emotionally. It may be removed, changed, let go, and then some action takes place. It could even be transital, like if there's a interference because of some squares, right, or some trines coming up where it's a phase, then the phase changes. And so I think that that's dope. The crossroad connected to the two swords, the Ace of Cups could be connected to the heart. And wherever the block was, the scissors do a thing where I choose, because here are these signs that say which way you're gonna go, right? This way blocked, that way maybe not. What is this way pointing to? The heart. So somebody blocked their emotions, somebody blocked their hearts. When I talked about transits, when I talked about soul contracts, when I talked about past life regression and transmutation, all of that is there, so it makes sense. Maybe someone's in split mind about their heart and soon will communicate, and I thought that that was super dope, so it's not all doom and gloom, Now, we are going to go over the pick a cards, all right? Cheer up, laugh a little. You can choose from the zodiac signs and the crystals, and I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so that you can peacefully make your selections without distractions. We have 4 groups here, and I think you're super going to enjoy it. So let's get started. All right, let's get the business clear. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. You can choose by citron, rose quartz, clear quartz, or onyx. You can also choose by zodiac sign, which is not solely connected to the element. Could be the message itself or the situation. And Spirit just knows the collective is intertwined. Okay? We have Libra, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Cancer, and Gemini. Virgo, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio. Ooh. Okay. I didn't say ew, I said ooh. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, I always give the introduction to pick a card with some advice solely for those who need it. If you don't, you can feel free to click the timestamp if you've already made your decision. Otherwise, what I'd like to do is a bit of a scry. And you may say, what is scrying? I'll look deeply into something without focusing. So it's just, I'll allow my eyes to look in a direction without focusing on anything, kind of just glaring into deep space. And then something sticks out over the other thing. And that's how I usually make my choice when I do pick a cards on YouTube. Another method is those of you that have a strong connection to spirit or higher self. I just go through and I'll say this one, this one, this one, this one. And there are moments of hypersensitivity. I think that's what a medical professional would call it. And sometimes that could be tied to an intuitive nudge. So if you look at a particular thing or you ask God, source, spirit, is it this one, is it that one, is it this one, and you get a tingle or an intuitive acknowledgement, go with that. And then lastly, I mean, you can always literally pick by the zodiac sign that you're cross-watching for. If this is a relationship or even a family matter, you can go by the aspect of the zodiac in your natal chart. Like for the moon, Venus, and 7th house signs, relationships. It could even be messages for career and your soul purpose. I'm guilty. I will cross-watch my twin flame. I will cross-watch whoever I feel like. You know what I mean? And you can always go by the sun sign, right? If you want to do multiple selections, you can do that. It is time-stamped on the video right here at the little time bar. And then also in the description. You can just click on whatever you'd like. So I'll give you a moment to make those selections. And after that, we will get started with group 1. All right, group 1, Citron, Libra, Pisces, Aquarius. You are up first. Group 1, again, you have beautiful Citron. You have Libra, Pisces, and Aquarius. These are, I want to say, very different energies. However, a similarity that they have would be, I wanted to say, a dual nature. While most often Libra is known for balance, I've noticed that Libras may be more susceptible to have challenges with confusion and clarity or making decisions. That's like the counter, you know what I mean? Pisces, very intuitive, deep, soulful, loving energies. However, sometimes it may be complicated to differentiate practical matters in a head over heart, or heart over head situations, to differentiate spiritual versus acknowledging the present moment. And with Aquarius, I'll say in a relationship, an Aquarius moon person is kind of like both of these energies combined, where there is love and, magic and mystery. But there's also this need for space, focus on self-awareness and distant nature. So that's why I was like, it embodies like both of them. So that's super cool. And I know because I'm a Pisces with an Aquarius moon, and a strong connection to Libra, as in people. And then, my awareness of the houses in your natal charts. The 7th house, Venus, Libra, rules relationships, marriages, and even business partners. I love this beautiful yellow crystal. Even though it's citrine, it reminds me of like yellow sapphire, and what yellow signifies in an anniversary of some sort within relationships. So I always share like personal nuggets for you guys. Go with your own inner knowing. I was like, what is this? Go with your, am I doing this like live? Okay. Go with your own inner knowing. And we'll get started with your cards. You guys have oracle cards. I believe this is a tarot card. And I don't know why I rubbed it that way, because the top one came out first. Okay. You have illusion in a square. I love that, because when I think of squares and or diamonds, it connects me to the emperor, and like this soul purposey or goal oriented finality of some sort that all of us are possibly working to obtain. It's like the cubing the square. It's like temperance, alchemy. It's like becoming your highest self, like the last dragon type of energy, or I always reference Karate Kid. So even though we have illusion, I love the imagery in the card so far and how the stars kind of sprinkle through it. I also see 8 stars, which from this illustrator would be like 8 pentacles. So if this isn't about a relationship for some of you, it's definitely work related. And I know the positive side of illusion, which all of us have the benefit of, maybe not so much Libra, but the positive side is sometimes as the magician, wizard, witch, manifester, whatever you're comfortable with, sometimes we have to be somewhat detached and elusive, or, use the energy of illusion when we are trying to get from A to B, and it requires a level of creativity and imagination to even phantom or have the audacity, you know what I'm saying, to dream. So that is what I love about illusion. I'll also say that Neptune has been in Pisces for about, I think, 12 to 14 years now. And after 2025, it's a wrap. That could have been significant in a situation. I know that it somehow affects taxes, okay, which could affect finances, business and career. And then as far as your relationships, Neptune in Pisces would be at home in that energy. and it could strongly contribute to certain aspects of your lives as well as interfere, and not just with Pisces, because Pisces is at home there, with the rest of us. It could cause some fog or some confusion regarding situations, and whatever situation is currently on your mind may be affected one way or the other with this card, any of the zodiacs, or the crystal itself, or any other cards that I flip over. So I also like to take from the intuitive messages as well as the guidebook. And I noticed, because she doesn't have numbers, I like to just see what page she put them on. Because trust me, journalists, intuitives, everything has a meaning. Trust me. The fact that she put illusion on page 20, which is connected to discernment, which has a connection to Libra. Okay. There's some Libra Pisces energy going on here. Doesn't have to be, but that's what I'll say. And judgment also either talks about past returning or final decisions. Houseway. It talks about using your discernment. It talks about resurrections and revelations. It's like a last phase and an end of an end. It's crazy that one card could mean like the opposite of itself. So it's like the end of the end and also some sort of resurrection. Is crazy. We all live surrounded by facades and illusions. The point is to know what is truly real and what is not when this card comes up. The next card you have is Pandora's Box. Intuitively, my first thing was the last pick a card that I did that you'll see on the video tab was inspired by Pandora's Box, because it was so much in there and they were all so many different things. It was like pick your poison, and it gave this trick or treat sort of energy. I feel that your situation may be the same, where the illusion could be a facade and Pandora's box could be tricky. It also refers to illusion as in your manifestation, and maybe it's a treat and not a trick. Okay. But it still reminds us that you deserve better than to allow yourself to fall for falsehoods and then lie to yourself about it when your instincts question it. If you are questioning anything, these cards definitely say to trust yourself. Now, I'll pull a card for the Pandora's box for all three signs. If you were inspired by signs, if you weren't, then you could just listen to the entire message. Because that's pretty interesting. If you tell somebody trick or treat, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to aid in the illusion or the confusion. So we'll do pull a card for it. In this deck, people fear the opening of Pandora's box for the trouble it may cause. Okay? The results of opening the lid provide a factor which is yet unknown. Therefore, many people stay away from situations they regard as Pandora's box. You know who does that? Okay. So you are choosing to avoid the making of a decision. Yikes. Talk about it. Or the taking of an action due to the difficulties it could possibly bring you. That's why the Eight of Wands in the collective message was there. Some that are going to take action and open that box may end up with a crown and or a ring. Because you saw it. If you didn't see the collective message, if you skipped toward to the pick a card, you might want to go back and check it out. It says to not focus solely on the what ifs. Choose to see this as an opportunity to face the potential pain and grow from it. Okay? We had the Six of Cups there too, where we talked about growing from something, so that could be significant for some. Just because it may cause you some pain doesn't mean it will not also bring you happiness and healing. Things which we perceive as not good, things which we perceive as good or bad are not exclusively just that. Be brave and choose to face up to what you are avoiding. Due to the difficulties it could possibly bring you, sometimes we shy away from it. So there you have that. The last card that came out, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, this is slow. This is stuckness. This is like the Knight of Pentacles upright definitely talks about commitment. It talks about getting to the finish line. It talks about perseverance. It's practical. It's in motion. It's active. So I feel like you have, or they have, the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, but it's currently not moving from fear. Whomever is on your mind may be very afraid of what this relationship could cause or how they feel. Somebody that is not comfortable with the level of emotions or things tied into it, because some of you may have communicated to your partners what twin flames are, and maybe it's divinely guided, or you guys could be soulmates that incarnated onto this planet to live out a destiny. Some people are not really susceptible to hearing that, and then other spiritual beings that are well aware of it may fear it to some degree, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? Why is that? Now, the Knight of Stars, which is like the Knight of Pentacles, in the reverse is someone outside of a relationship. Okay, let's take that off because I've spoke on the relationship people, and then I'm going to pull a card for the zodiacs. This person, oh, it's brutally honest there. Okay, so I don't have to dig deep down for big words I learned in college. This person is lazy. This person literally does not move around much. I would not be surprised if they hadn't gained weight. Now, this could be a person that you're in no contact with because of some confusion and them not being able to make up their mind on how they feel about themselves, you, or the situation. They ain't doing shit. They're not doing much. They're taking it easy, taking it slower, not moving at all, not committing to anyone at all. And, I mean, I don't want to coddle you, right, and be negative towards them, but their own personal goals are going to be, I feel like, affected if overall their energy is a slumber of some sort. So, you know, they should have just put their hand in that box and gave you a chance, if you ask me. But I don't know how it's going to turn out for everyone. I'm just going to pull clarifiers for Pandora's box on the zodiac signs, okay? So, all these cards fell on the floor. I'm going to take a look, but I'm not going to keep them. When did I get these? That is crazy. Spirit is crazy. Maybe it was meant for you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, the ring came out in the collective message. Yes, y'all saw that. But I kid you not, when I did the collective message, when I got clarifiers, I got so many cards I just stopped because I felt like I had a clear idea. I kid you not, the stork, the letter, the mountain, and the book came up. But it came up stork, letter, book, then mountain and sun. For some of you, it's writing a book. For some of you, it's communicating, sending off a letter, signing a document. This could be a union. Others of you, it's your soul purpose, and it's connected to some sort of communication with spirit, a vow that was made. Now, there may be someone taking their poor, sweet time in this relationship that could have been, or is supposed to be, a marriage. It's a spiritual union. Others of you, you're being told to not even just accept fate, and you write your own destiny. Messages are coming to you, and something is being created or given to you, and it's like you use that, you know, maybe, what word do I want to use? Maybe educate yourself on certain practices and methods to interfere with, you know, your own timeline a bit. But you have the Sun card. Okay, so now let me do the signs like I said. For Libra, we'll start with Libra. We have Clover, Broom, and Female. I feel like the Clover refers to luck. I feel that Broom sweeps out the old to make room for the new. And then we have the Deer. You have the King of Pentacles in the collective message, so I do feel this could be in reference to the actions to be taken or a possible outcome. Okay, so Libra, if you're dealing with the Libra, or if you're Libra, there's luck, getting ready for it, and then Female. So, okay, Libra. For Pisces, And now all of you may not have 3 cards. Okay. We have cross. The cross is not only connected to the martyr. Okay. This talks about the crossroads, kind of having some energies connected to us that may not be wanted. Because, like, we do the uncrossing. Like, I'm a huge fan and a creator of, like, uncrossing oil sprays, candles. It's something that changed my life. And then I learned the practices to create it. So Spirit knows, like, when I see this, that I'm going to think about it. So some of you Pisces, regarding your situation, may benefit from an uncrossing. Others of you, it just talks about your beliefs. It talks about incarnating with certain beliefs that may or may not serve you. So I won't say that they don't serve you anymore, but usually when we talk about past life regression, relationships, twin flames, soulmates, activations, crazy stuff going on, confusion, that we're crossed in between the past and the present and the future, and it could drive somebody crazy. So uncrossing normally brings about some level of clarity and peace. If you split minds, living in 2-3 dimensions, it don't look good to the people outside of you if you're trying to make a valid point. I'm not going to hold you. So we got to get it together, and uncrossing is a good way to do so, as well as have that understanding so that you can get out of the cycle of confusion itself. 4, okay, Aquarius, you guys got ship. Okay, and usually the ship talks about the thing that's coming in, and it's on a huge wave. So whatever ideas you're getting, go with them. If this is your person, they're coming in on a wave, so it could be a time of your life where a lot of favorable things are happening at once. Now, if this is for my magicians and my manifestors, as you see, this huge wave is a lot of water. So you're going to have to feel that money. You're going to have to feel that gift, that ability. You're going to have to feel that goal. I don't care if it's a home, a car, better health, a nap, you praying for space and time and quiet. You're going to have to feel how that feels. And a lot of it, so no monotone, average visualizations, you're going to have to feel. And so what helped me, I'll just tell you guys, when trying to manifest and visualize, if you ain't that good at it, because I wasn't good at seeing it. And then when I got good at seeing it, feeling it and carrying the vibration of it, I couldn't fake myself. And you do have illusion here. I'm not that good actress, right? So I started going to open houses that reflected the type of property or estate that I wanted to purchase. I started putting myself in environments around the people who had all the shit I wanted. I start going to the neighborhoods. I just start implementing things. If it's a look, I just carry myself like whoever I'm trying to become. Even if I don't have much, you work with what you got, right? So when it comes to the illusion part and feeling stuck in the mud, that ain't gonna mix, right? So I do hope that it helps. We are going to trot on along to group 2, and thank you, group 1, for tuning in. If you are interested, okay, because this is the conjure oil, right? So it's not like a shameless plug. I just had it sitting here. This is my personal oil that I use, and I sit it on the table. This is anointed and does like other stuff, but does also ward off negative energy. If you are interested in the uncrossing kit or the conjuring kit or any other kit, message me directly, email me, Moko. It's blau, but in German, but it's blue in English, so I just didn't want you to spell it wrong. MOKOBLAU. So Moko Blue at astronauthoochie.com is my email. And I say contact me directly because I'm winging myself off of Etsy to sell directly from my website, and also to try TikTok and Amazon. So those stores are being created as I get into the website, and I'm just trying to wing myself off Etsy. So you can contact me directly and we'll go from there. Let's go to group 2. Group 2. You guys got the beautiful rose quartz. Okay. You have Capricorn, Cancer, and Gemini. I almost said Pisces. A very interesting mix. When I think of what do these signs have in common? Capricorn has two beings merged into one, right? It's like man and something, yeah? Like the goat or something like that. So that's two things. Cancer has the yin and the yang, and Gemini is literally the twin. So I think that's kind of like group 1 had twos, because Libra had 2 cups, Pisces had 2 fish, and then Aquarius had the 2 little waves. Some of y'all still watching the video, which is cool. 22 is about action. Their message did include action. The collective message with that 8 of Wands included action. So some of you guys, the similarity is just in harmony and balance as well as action. Let's get started with the reading and see what we got. Ooh, the dragonfly. Escape. High Priestess. Intuitively, there's a guide that has done something that you may want to do, or may need to do, or incarnated to do. Those of you in group 2 that incarnated to free yourself from the maze or the trap, which is what 21 symbolizes for some, this is for you. 21 is like hitting the jackpot. So if you're a gambler, maybe taking some risk would help because you're safe. Your thing is not trouble or being trapped, where I would say caution, be careful. You literally have escape here, but it's a challenging aspect. And with the High Priestess as the advice or outcome, she's definitely whispering something. And I feel that it's trust. You've done this before. You know what to do. All right. And using that to get out of whatever cage this was, because ain't nothing in it and the door is open. It could even be self-limitation, because all of these cards upside down would be like the 8 of Swords energy. And if the 8 of Swords is upright, which I'd have to turn them upside down for the favorable interpretation, but upright, it's a self-limitation, self-doubt, negative speaking. And the High Priestess comes to the Fool, the beginner, you know, the beginning phase, the 0 before we get to the 21, to give those directions or advice, encouragement, or just to watch you to see what you're going to do before even, it's like a mom. Like you don't want to coddle them, right? We already talked about coddling. But I'm going to stay close enough, because I'm gonna let you do it, and then I'll come in if I need to, right? If the training wheels come off the bike, you don't just sit there holding their shoulders the whole time. You give them a little bit of space and trust, because there's some space in between this wisdom and divine wisdom. The space is escape. Okay, stop listening to escape. I love escape, but they don't give divine wisdom. They have you deep down into them feelings. Being toxic, missing somebody who don't give a fuck about you. So watch out for that 90s R&B. It's great, but you sitting here going to sleep listening to Janae Aiko all the time, and you see her situation. Can I tell you all about that? Because that came up. Y'all like to be entertained, yeah? Some of y'all is like, no, what's up with you today? But she's a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. I'm on her side. What was that album, Sellout? I loved. What was that song that I liked the most? When he left her at the, what did it say? And this weekend turned into every evening. And it was the Motel Inn or something like that, baby. Look, it was a Cancer too that made me think of that song. So this might work. Y'all might need this. Oh my God, it was crazy. Perfection. I'm talking about this person definitely fed into, and I don't mean fed into because they weren't even into zodiac signs and stuff. But when they say who's the best soulmate for my sign, it's either uh, my specific sign or another water sign. And so, baby, that's how I felt. However, it got into Eight of Swords real quick. I ain't gonna hold you. But back to Jamaica. I didn't know that um this perfect. So they have a kid. I'm not in their business. I'm not judging either. But somebody said, when are you gonna tie the knot to her partner? The partner said, we got a long way to go because it's work that needs to be done. They told him up online and said, y'all couldn't figure that out like before having the kid, and then they went on to make accusations about certain races of men that make collective choices to do what he did and yada yada yada. I'm not getting into that. I ain't getting into their business. I just was observing the comments because he probably didn't think out what he was saying, and it was genuine and honest. But some people said it was so embarrassing, and if they were her, they'd leave him and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm good enough to date, go public with, for you to handcuff to where we can't see other people. I'm yours, right? I'm good enough to have this kid. But when somebody asks when you gonna marry me, you say it's work to do. Not he has work to do, not specifically she has work to do, but just nah, that's a lot. And they were like, well, with the kid, you can't undo that. I mean, at least with a marriage, you could get it annulled or a divorce, but kids are forever. And some people just have whatever mindset that hinders them or hinders a situation in that way. Now, divine wisdom says, because I'm pretty wise in the divine with me, so I said she know better. I didn't feel sorry for her because I listened to her talk about how toxic they both were, the childhood traumas. They were trauma bonding, first of all, thinking they were healing each other, and that's what we do. We swear these people are soulmates and we healing each other. Divine wisdom is sometimes brutal honesty that takes us away from illusions and shit that pacifiers continued behaviors. Well, our parents were toxic and we trying to do better than them, so we've been patient with each other and healing each other. I don't know. Sounds like the two people at the bottom of the devil card. Maybe that's why Capricorn is right here. Yin and Yang talks about the dark and the light. So someone here, you see how I'm going to slide up off them right quick before I get judgy. The Yin and Yang could talk about the shadow and the light and having balance, right? The funny thing about that is Jesus was actually in American culture depicted as a Capricorn. My personal opinion, because in Africa or South Asia, West Asia, East Africa, where Jesus was from, so that's where the whole, shout out to Nas for educating the inner city on Asiatic, right? Look at some old maps. Winter isn't in December. In America, Capricorn, December is snowing, right? But in where the actual location was in that time, it would have been summertime in December. So the actual birth would have been more around Cancer season. That's crazy. So when it comes to divine wisdom, for some of you, there could be this interconnection to consciousness. And I know that since the 80s, predominantly like the 70s, 80s, Christ consciousness got huge. And now a non-believer like myself has come into interaction with what I feel could be perceived as Christ consciousness, and I'm not mad at it because I know that something exists. I don't care what people call it. It's pretty dope. It's like a mix between how they describe like the Holy Spirit and Christ consciousness. So for some of you, if this isn't about a toxic relationship between two people who swear they're healing each other, but it's really some repeat cycle of trauma bonding from childhood traumas to adults, and now they had a child to become the child in them that they're trying to heal through each other. your spiritual message could be related to consciousness. And as we talk about direction, wisdom, the mind, I do feel that you guys may be limiting your own knowing of yourself or this connection. And it's just like something I experienced with the Eight of Swords. That's crazy. So this is definitely for you, I'm sure, because it fits. When I first went through the most, I want to say alert, like we all go through activations all the time, but one that was huge and aggressive and apparent, right, that had my full-fledged awareness. I asked somebody some questions about some things I was experiencing, and she hit me with that Eight of Swords. And up until I educated myself further, I was like, was she calling me crazy? Because the Eight of Swords could be connected to, like, when you're not really grounded and super, all your chakras open, it may look crazy to somebody. And you may even question yourself. But I also saw that outside of like the Christ consciousness, when it comes to other ascended masters or archangels or influential people in ancient text, they have the like magic squares, the talismans and things of that nature. The Eight of Swords is an emblem connected to like the symbol of the sun and chaos magic, which could talk about using energies and directing it. So we're still talking about energy that is unseen and direction. So anyway, I won't go all deep into that, but some of you could be experiencing a heartfelt connection that's a heart activation, or the divine wisdom, the divine spirit. It's not a he or a she, but this pink gives a very loving energy, as I know Christ consciousness would be, or the Holy Spirit would be. Some of you, it's just loving the self, to not be the lady who had the kid and the man said on a public platform that he's not marrying her because that's just too much. Self-love could have prevented that. Having the love from the people that mattered most at a young age could have prevented that. So when you don't have that and the Holy Spirit steps in, there's a message. Okay, so the message with wisdom, we'll get to that before I offend anybody else, because I don't think I'm offending nobody, but it is brutally honest there. I almost forgot. So it's like, no, go ahead. Oh, look, wisdom is on page 13. 13 is connected to spirit, also Scorpio, and death. Okay, did somebody like barely escape death? That's interesting. I bet it was the Capricorn. Whoever's sitting here, I bet it was. So let's get to something less intuitive, that's more general, huh? Let's get back to that coddling. In the wisdom card, there is wisdom in the collective, in the tribe. It is found within their physical presence, their spirits, and in their consciousness. I'm onto something, okay? No matter how isolated you feel or how far apart you feel from others, you are always part of the collective consciousness. When you make the choice to tap into the invisible current of each soul stream of consciousness as it runs into one, you realize how you are connected and how you are a part of something much, much larger than just yourself and the small space you occupy. Find your tribe, seek out your people. They are there and they are waiting for you. When you find your people, they help you to better find your place within this world and the worlds beyond it. They become your earthly and spiritual family. So, I got a strong feeling that I have a guy here, or because I know y'all, you know, it could be anybody, with a guide or even a soulmate. So this could be an energy or a soul that was once human that has a connection to you, that's still with you in spirit. That's super dope. And maybe they escape. Shit, I feel that. It could be a family member. I've gone through that too, where, you know, whether they made a decision or it just happened, they ain't here. And you acknowledge, right? Not tell yourself, but acknowledge the freedom, you know, and peace they may have from such a very challenging life. You know what I mean? So that's deep, you know. I get it. And that's, you know, how I make peace with it too. And then some people can look at you crazy and be like, how could you make peace with, you know, something so chaotic or unexpected or depressing? And it's like, honesty. Shit, if a motherfucker struggle, have a hard childhood, struggle with being an adult, and just like got so much baggage that it takes divine intervention to clear up, but for whatever reason they don't connect to that divine, and then, you know, they make a decision, or, you know, something unfortunate happens. Like, I'm not the Red Cross here. I don't believe in suffering. I'm gonna sit here and hold your hand while I'm watching you die. They get off on that shit. No. If somebody don't want to live in torment and make a decision, I support them. But I'm not making no public statement, you know, or no shit like that. Don't run and share my shit and be like, this lady said it's okay to, I ain't said shit. so let's get to escape before I get canceled. Number 18, that's connected to the moon, which is also divine wisdom. 1 and 8 is 9. Okay, the end, let go. Some of you guys may be manifesting a new partner, one of these, because you have escaped or ended a phase of repetition with bounded relationships, soul contracts, and so on and so forth. So the high priestess usually does come up when there's a soulmate involved, and I don't feel it's a toxic one. Now, we did talk about the toxic one, right? The one that said, you can have my baby, but I ain't giving you my name. And we got to tap into that to not be that. I also know that the beautiful side of the high priestess is a soulmate, an actual soulmate, and I think that that's so dope. Escape. It says a birdcage with an open door represents where you are right now. You are a part of a situation where you feel trapped, but there's a clear way to escape. You can see the path to freedom from this situation, yet you have not taken the first steps to begin traveling out. You are at war with yourself, deciding whether to make your current state of entrapment easier on yourself, perhaps by bargaining with the bars which contain you, or by surrendering to the idea that this is what you deserve. This is your lot in life. Ouch. The open door leads to an unknown path which is full of uncertainty and possible solitude. For you, the cage is familiar. It may not be ideal, but at least you have an understanding of it. All right? Eventually, a choice will need to be made. Stay or go. Safety or the unknown. Surrender or freedom. Although in your hearts of hearts, you already know which path you wish to take. And for you, the high priestess says, you know, because you're intuitive. Now, as I did for group 1, I'm going to pull a card for each zodiac sign. In group 2, we're going to shuffle the cards. All right. Now, in group 1, I told them about the uncrossing all, the conjure all that's used to remove, you know, unwanted energies and frequencies. But group 2, I think that you guys would benefit from not only the uncrossing, because we need some clarity, but some sort of stimulant to your intuition. So I do make candles for special moon phases, be it the waning or waxing crescent moon, what is it, the giving moon, the full moon, the new moon. But I feel that connecting deeply to the divine feminine energy is going to help you be more confident with the knowings that you have, because it said some of you may be in split minds, kind of surrendering and even starting to settle in situations that you know for a fact you are capable of and were meant to escape from. Now, if it's not about strengthening the intuition, I would recommend something with fire. Fire is creativity. I get super confident when I use my oils or candles that have a lot of the Queen of Wands energy, or like more of the spicier scents and ingredients. So if you are interested in enhancing, okay, your intuition, or activating a spark, you can email me at mocoblue@astronauthoochie.com. As I told group 1, I am winging myself off of Etsy. The store is there, but I have deactivated the items, and I'm building my own store. So I'm going to have an actual website that doesn't forward to somebody else who take half your money and then give you poor customer service. So yeah, that's where we are. Let's start with Capricorn. I'm going to pull a card for Capricorn. You got birds. Now the birds are messages and guides. Listen and watch for synchronicities, Capricorn. The birds also talk about news. A perched bird talks about news, but the two birds could also just talk about a sign of communication. And the lovebirds, it talks about harmony. So this could be a good sign in reference to a relationship. Now, it's funny, Capricorn, that if these birds represent the lovers and the lovers were binded, it was by some invisible thing that ain't really even holding them back. And they got out of that. So that's what I'm going to say for Capricorn. I ain't going to stretch it. Now, for Cancer, let's see what you guys have. Okay, got me thinking about that boy in that song. And this evening turned to every evening. Cancer, Aquarius also got shipped. That's something, honey. The ships mean that your ship is coming in, sweetheart, and it's coming in on a big wave. It is what you're waiting for. What you're waiting for is going to be an elephant in the room pretty soon. So I think that that's super dope. Gemini. Yo, scissors flipped out of my hand, fell on the ground, and came up in reverse, so I'm leaving it that way. You have the scissors in the reverse. Ooh. And the back of the bottom of the deck says male. Now, what's crazy, in the collective message, we did have a message about a man. And I noticed this one says male because a man probably takes character growth and maturity. There's something that makes you a man. It's like an adult male, right? But spirit is clear. It says male. So we may be cutting off an immature masculine aspect of something, a situation, ourselves, whatever. I ain't gonna stretch it, but you got scissors. The scissors could also connect to the two swords. The two swords in the reverse is most definitely starting to see the light, because upright, it's refusing to see the truth about something. And so maybe blocks are being lifted and we finally start to see the truth. I think that's dope. We're going to get to group 3. Okay, group 3, it is your turn. Let's rock out. You guys chose the clear quartz crystal. Okay, everybody's favorite. You also chose Virgo, Leo, or Sagittarius. And if you didn't, if you just normally choose the number 3, the quartz crystal, intuitively guided, I'll just say group 3. The is it not these cards in y'all thing? Okay, I'll just say that I'm not scratched up and ashy. Jesus Christ, group 3. Y'all missed because I ain't had no display. Virgo, Leo, Sagittarius here with the quartz crystal. I looked at the crystals because these aren't like earth sign, water sign, or none of that. They were mixed and intuitively selected by spirit. So with group 1 and 2, I looked at what could be significant other than you guys resembling experiences, transits, personality, archetypes, whatever. Virgo, Leo, and Sag. I like it, and I'm not trying to be biased. Virgos are cool. I can imagine my experiences with Virgo, and they are interesting. They have this connection to Leo that is more subtle and humble, where the Strength card has the lion and the little graceful lady. My experiences with these two archetypes, from that perspective, was that the strength in like feminine Leo aids the more shadowy side of Virgo. I think they would appreciate that, and even the dominant aspect of like fire, I feel like they appreciate that because I ain't had it, and they chose a person like that, and I see why, and it's cool. I ain't had time for that. I ain't finna be somebody's mama. I ain't gonna hold you. But if it works, cool. If you like somebody who grab you by your hair and drag you, some people into that. The more subtle energy necessary for the ego in Leo, it's the same but different. You feel me? So I like that. I have Sag South Node. All Sagittarius are interested individuals. I've seen soft side of Sag, but they have to. It's a acquired taste. For Sag to be soft sidey, you gotta strike one of they, like something that strikes their soft side. Like it ain't like they just gonna be soft. It's just their nature. You strike something already there in them, and so that's cool. And the shadowy side, not shadowy, but I connect like the fiery leader, energy in these two, and I connect the this little ego thing where it's like I ain't hurt, but they could be type deal where you have to like what does the Queen of Wands do for the King of Wands? You have to what do they call it? Damn it. You stroke the ego? Yeah. You don't have to, but I can see it. So anyway, don't let that interfere with your own interpretive thing or what you came here for. I just did that for group 1 and 2, so I just played a game with you guys where they had 2s. You guys is more about, intuitively, it's about like the personality and archetype type deal. You have locked away. Now, I will say, for additional advice, group 3, you might like group 2 because they had escape. They had some door open. I am interested to know why locked away is a rib cage. The other one was a bird cage. So it was something outside of group 2. Group 3, I would imagine that because this is protective and internal, this is more so reserved. I'm going to read from the guidebook to see what she has to say, but I'll just say intuitively, locked away, rib cage. That's interesting. We got the wishbone. Ain't that like the funny bone? Is that what it is? It looked like it. Spirit said that ain't it, but it looked like what is this? I have to know the anatomy of the body better. Call my 8-year-old. He the one he's really good with anatomy. I was like, boy, you gonna be a doctor? Let me find out, because he's super dope with it. At an early age too. His memory when we went over things like the body, or like super scientific things, he took to that, and I was like, that's like baby doctor stuff. Because you know what, small child remember like organs and the use of organs. It was crazy. But group 3. All right, let me not get sidetracked. You guys' energy is fun, though. It makes me, like, sit back and want to chill. You got the number 12 with the locked away card. And, look at what it's right next to. See, I'm good at what I do. And it's short. Most of these passages are the full page. This is one of the shortest ones I've seen in the guidebook. It says, there is an integral part of who you are that you are keeping hidden. I knew it. You are locking it away and believe that keeping it this way is for the best for everyone around you, including yourself. Unfortunately, you can feel the weight of tiredness of keeping this crucial facet of yourself hidden. When you hide part of who you are, the puzzle is incomplete. You need to see the worth and wealth contained in each chapter of who you are as a soul and as a human. The practice of self-love, of self-compassion, of acceptance, and being at peace with one's self is needed here. For as long as this part of you remains locked away, There will always be an empty space in your identity, not only for yourself, but for others. Do not deny the world of your true self. You are meant to be seen as a complete person, an intact soul, not one which is censored to make others feel more comfortable. Yikes. Yikes. Only reason why I say that is because we talked about self expression, coddling. I even feel a little bit attacked at, you know, being reserved and conservative, going through law school, being practical and intelligent. I don't personally pour my insides out to humanity because I understand 85% of humans are followers. And I guess that's like my 5% of observation and even 10% as a leader. Yeah, it's like I know what sells, I know what works. If I were to engage in music or entertainment, I would know what works, even if it were outside of something that I favored or were comfortable with. It's like, what is our goal? Is our goal to sell records? Are we making money? And being overly conscious in certain markets is unfavorable, just as is oversharing. So I say to you, group 3, if you feel like what I just said, Spirit is saying don't have that perspective. Don't feel oversharing is unnecessary. Don't feel like I'm going to be conservative because everybody's idiots. Don't do that. And I can resonate with why Spirit is good. This card is good. This lady is good. Because this is like practical stuff. And I just got these for you guys like last week. But I will also add, because, you know, I have a Sagittarius South Node. And wherever your South Node may be in this reading, it tells something about the past or something that could help the future, as well as your North Node. So I'm sure if you go into this reading and look at the zodiacs, if you choose a deck with your North Node and South Node, just listen for those things. I haven't done it yet. That was just some random advice. So no, I didn't do it, and I'm encouraging you to do it because this ain't for me, this for y'all. But a lot of people, whether it's my sign, my personality, a trauma response, whatever, because people accuse you of that. Oh, you're trauma reacting. And it's like, no, what if this is just my regular self? They're always trying to fix somebody or figure some shit out. People can't really figure me out. And I think that's a them problem. But if you care, because like I can honestly say I don't. If you do care to hinder this relationship, because a lot of you were predominantly talking about relationships, past life stuff, contracts. You remember, you listened to the intro, right? If you didn't, go back to it, because it's brutally honest day. Okay. If you care, if it's unfavorable, if you need to modify certain things to get the outcome you want, because that's the only reason why I'd modify something, if it aids in me accomplishing something I want, or if it would benefit a relationship that I cared about. You know what I mean? But it got to make sense. My point is, people get some kind of way when they can't figure you out. You don't make sense to them. And in the guidebook, this card just talked about, oh, you know, you got to be seen as a whole to yourself and to others. Now, to yourself, yes. To others, we'll talk about that another time. But I understand that I've heard the feedback of others who can't figure somebody out, and it eats at them. They'll call you things, they'll judge you, they'll make up whatever they want just because they can't figure it out. And then how you interpret that is on you. Because you could have experienced it early childhood development. You could have experienced it high school, college. You could have experienced it in a significant relationship. And it's like, how did you internalize it? How did it make you look at yourself? Do you know that you're even doing it? You know what I mean? So that is good stuff right there. The next one group 3. I forgot this was even the card. I shuffled out you guys' cards yesterday, I'm not going to lie. And they sat overnight before I started recording. That's crazy. Now y'all the same. Two peas in a pot if this is a relationship, because the biblical text of the rib is like how you was even made, right? Or what you made of, right? Maybe she's cute. Maybe she just took a whole bunch of different things and it's still this one thing, because what you're made of is technically still like you hiding away a big part of you. It would be like, if this is what you made of, like God created the woman out of Adam's rib, which is not true because the X chromosome existed way before the Y. Scientifically there is proof, but for fuck's sake, right? You were made out of the rib. God took some materials and it's hidden. Now if we're gonna get off that, because I can stay on this card all day. I think I love this card now. But here, these two band-aids. Why are there two? Now there's an X. X may be significant. Okay. X marks the spot. Sure, whatever that means. But there's two band-aids, so I would think that both people are not being fully something. And I could imagine how it feels to have a band-aid ripped off. And what if it's ripped off twice? Jeez, in the same fucking spot. What if you heal to be hurt again? Get damn. And then that's why we lock away things and conceal things. Maybe. I get that. I totally get that. If that's the most favorable thing, no. And also I want to set the expectation that for the other groups, I pulled individual cards for the zodiac just for fuck's sake. So I'm going to do that for you guys too. So just hang tight. Conceal. Ooh, 16. 16 is connected to the Tower. The 1 and the 6, that's what, the Magician and the Lovers, or the Devil card. Look how many words is here. They ain't have no words for locked away. When a mistake is made or an error in judgment is realized, we tend to hide it and cover it up. Ooh. Ooh-wee. I don't know who would do that. I don't know them to do that. I don't. Honestly. So I'll just leave that alone. Let y'all deal with y'all people. But that's something. This is a challenge for somebody. A mistake has been made and they realize there's an error in judgment, because you wouldn't tuck away something you don't feel like was an accident. Ooh. That ego. Ooh, bruised ego. Y'all spirit, don't do that. Because what if they're not cross-watching? What if I got my Virgos and Leos and Sagittarius up in here? Jesus, don't leave. But anyway, in doing this, we give ourselves the false hope that perhaps it didn't happen. Now that's deep too. I know some people that refuse to be victims. So, if we ignore it, maybe it will go away and we won't need to face it. We don't talk about it with others. Once the words are spoken, we cannot take them back. And what has happened is now out there and it is real. By speaking of it, you can no longer continue to justify its non-existence in your mind. So you stay quiet and you let the knowledge of it weigh you and your vibration output down. Others will sense the difference. See, both of these cards were about others. I didn't want to glaze over that. That's crazy. So, okay. I ain't never known these people to care about others either. But, so this could be cross-watch energy. I don't know. I'm going to get off that. Anyway, others will sense the difference within you and ask what's wrong. And you'll tell them you're fine. You have a truth that is causing you pain, worry, anguish, and hurt. You are denying the truth of it to yourself and those who care. You know how the truth can set you free, how it can lift the weight of your heart. The truth that you are choosing to conceal is hurting you and is therefore hurting the collective. Okay. And then my little watch tingles. Okay. What does it say? Give what is worrying you a voice and a name. Admit to any wrongdoing and mistakes made. It is time to say the words out loud. Release them into the air that surrounds you and watch as they lose much of their power over you. Okay? Lose. Okay? This could be you. This could be them. It's in a situation somewhere. Could be y'all. Because initially I was like two peas in a pot, made of the same rib, got the matching band-aids. Why are there two band-aids? We like extra protective. Okay? I don't know. Yes. Ace of Wands is yes. Straight out. First interpretation, that's what it means. And yes, no readings, that's what it means as a tarot card. The Ace of Wands is also the flame in your heart. And how would that fit into concealing? The flame in your heart would know things that no one else knows, because it's like spirit in you or your higher self. It's the thing that we're all born with. So whether this is a other dimensional aspect of you or something divine, it knows it's there. And the intricate things in the bottom of the heart, right? Well, I love you with all my heart, from the bottom of my heart. But you know that saying, right? Spirit knows, and you may know, but I'll even say that you don't even know, for the sake of not getting blocked. And consider the crowd, you know. But the spirit knows there's something that's in there that isn't being spoken, and if you say it, you may feel better. Now, I will say most of us have experienced this, where you don't know what's in there. You don't know what's in there, but if you don't feel 100% happy today, if things are on your mind, if your energy is off, because it did talk about worry and being weighed down, sit with it for a second. I have pulled myself to the side and admitted that we are influenced heavily by transits. There could be subconscious things. We talked about past life regression, I think more so in group 1. So check that one out if you want to just hear about past relationships incarnating with old shit and how it make you look crazy to know you right about certain things, but you look crazy because they aren't existing in this lifetime. Those people that you did marry before, that you may or may not run into this lifetime, and you just know within your heart, but it totally ain't that this time. Two things being true, and that's what crossed is. That's the two swords. Two things are true. You in split realities, and that ain't good. And I mean, I can't give you the answer. I would like to understand the other side and the unseen dimension, yes, because I have an Aquarius moon, and I'm a lot of Aquarius, and we curious, and we like knowing shit. But the present moment gonna take favor, because unless you're a time traveler that's finna leave and go back somewhere, and the past is very important in this present moment, the present is your bread and butter, babe. And so differentiating what is real and what is not, that was group 2. Group 3, yours is about acknowledging the shit in the first place. And that makes sense, because some other people have acknowledged it and are aware of it, but they got their own healing to do, their own advice that they got. But acknowledging that it's even there, or sitting for a moment to just admit that there is something, even if you don't know what it is, that could spark the forward movement to whatever it even is. Because I felt low vibrational before and didn't even know why. And then I just monitored my behavior. I may have reached out to certain people or talked about certain things, or just took a break and slept, for a couple of more hours, or took a nap. But it'll show itself to you if you're open to what the fuck is the problem, type deal. So let's see, Virgo, we'll give you your personal card. See what we got for Virgo, where it falls in your chart, your person. Oh, it was in my hand. This is a realization. This is a union. This is Leo. This is the sun, a child. This is also, yes, it's confirmation, it's clarity, it's enlightenment. We have 4 wands and the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And the King of Pentacles was at the beginning when we talked about memories and growth, practical partners. Oh, this is the Virgo. Oh, it's the King of Pentacles is Virgo, right? Because the Queen is Taurus, I think. Okay. Look at Virgo stepping out in the collective reading. If you just tuning in, and you just pick group 3, listen to the intro or the collective message, because some of these cards came up in there. So, okay, we got marriage, or whatever that sun card is for you, Virgo. Let's see what we have for Leo. All the reason why I'm laughing is because this card, remember I said it's 16, so I said 1 and 6, the Magician, the Lovers. Okay, here is the Magician for Leo. I have the 8 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups that was also in the collective reading. I would take that as manifesting something and from spirit. That's 1. I would also take emotionally manipulative individual. That's 2. Now I'm shuffling out cards for Sag. This is too good to be true. This is crazy. This High Priestess came out in group 1, I believe. And the Knight of Coins came out in the collective message. So, for some, I feel like it's a soulmate, a practical partner, and a commitment. For personal whatevers, this is spirit sticking to the, it's a flame, it's something to be activated, healed in your heart, involving a situation. This is personal. These are also soulmates. And see, I knew it. It's like hidden, right? Look at that. Locked away, concealed, thanks, hidden, okay? Now, the hidden is the unseen, which is spirit. That is your soulmate. Nobody wants to hear that but somebody in their right mind, to appreciate that the God gene or a higher power is embedded within them that they can activate, and people think they got to die to meet it or get there. You, my dear, could be a chosen one, a star seed, or just a human being that has amazing look and some genetics that connects them to archangels and ascended masters. Because they're going to reach out to their people first, I would imagine. Okay. Secondly, the story behind the High Priestess and the Magician is they do marry later in life because they just there. It ain't the people who fought long and hard for their relationship the whole time, but the two that crossed the finish line, I think in this situation, go 2 ways. The one that connects with the spirit of the earth, the Holy Spirit, the higher self, whatever, Raphael, you might make it out the maze because you got divine intervention, right? Look, making it out the maze right here. Others of you where it's like a physical relationship, they line in, or you line, and y'all might not be together or may not be in communication, but at the end of the day, you ain't gonna ever meet nobody else or get married where it's serious. They not either. And then ultimately, you become a partnership because of time, because of things either in or out of y'all control. The Magician and the High Priestess are 2 people who together because it's the right time and the right place, and they just in a place of their life where they're okay with settling down, so they settle down with whoever is there. So this could be a person that had 5 women fighting over them their whole life, and all 4 of them got tired, and this one just ended up being the winner because she was the last one standing. I think that's ghetto, but go for it. You know what I mean? And then vice versa. If it was a lady with a lot of suitors, or that was focused, or spiritual practitioners, somebody who focused on a goal or a mission, and somebody else who focused on the divine. I don't know. It just, relationships and people ain't important, but ultimately I'm gonna look around. This person is just there. It just fits. It just happened one day. It wasn't planned, and piss everybody else off in the past that they wouldn't commit to. It happens like that. So that is very interesting, and that's so saggy. Not gonna hold you, but it's everybody and anybody at the same time. Okay. There's some messages for you, so don't forget to meditate. It also talks about healing, insecurities, that's important. But definitely some messages for someone, and it may even be to make some adjustments or change some things that may have you may have incarnated with. I'll just say that, and we will get to group 4. Thank you, group 3. I mean, I don't have anything really significant other than, oh yes I do. So for group 1 and 2, they got some information on some products, but group 3, because I ain't gimmicky and I was like just about to let y'all make it, with the lighting the flame in your heart, that is crazy. I do have the quantum healing station spiritual lobotomy right at the blue flame, where we focus on hypnosis therapy, past life regression, chakra attunements. I don't want to say Reiki. Reiki practices are used in my techniques, but I don't do Reiki per se. Yeah, I'm real respectful of that. Like, I don't go and study Reiki, but the information that they have and some of their processes I embody, right? So this is more so to activate a higher aspect of you, which could be used to clarify some super galactic type shit you got going on with people. That it's all gonna make sense, you feel me? But you guys are welcome to check out the channel to experience quantum healing, spiritual lobotomy, and activating the flame in your heart, which in my opinion, I'm gonna say this is my opinion, it is the activation of the Merkaba. Some people would say it's a heart chakra activation, but I think doing both of them, both of them together then. Because that I can only tell from my own experiences. I was trying to aim for the light body activation, which happened, but it was really close and at the same time of the heart chakra shit that I was going through. So, but I will say that it's the light body. The light body is the unseen. Whatever you think that is, it is definitely something. But anyways, and maybe that was locked away. I heard some crazy stories about what actually happened to God and all kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to get into it, but group 3, that is a big deal, and I invite you over into the spaces, right? You can contact me at Mocha Blah, at Mocha Blue. I speak English. Mocha Blue at astronauthooju.com. Check the description box, or I was about to up here on YouTube, and we'll get to group 3. Oh, 4. Shit. We'll get to group 4. Group 4. Welcome into the space. I was trying to do, I'm goofy. I was echoing it. All right. So group 4, you guys chose the beautiful onyx. All right. Onyx. Some of you may have selected by the beautiful selenite zodiac stones, runes, where you have Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio. I don't know why I do this exaggerated ass pause when I say these things. I did the introduction like that. That's crazy. So it's like right up in here, I do this weird pause. So if you selected based on the crystal or just an intuitive nudge, know that this doesn't have to be tied to any zodiac sign. But if it is, you could cross watch for another person or an aspect of your chart or their chart, and even the transits. If you say, hey, Scorpio's doing something that is doing in my natal chart, it may be a message for me. Feel free to experience that and express that without restriction. Okay? But anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. Now, what I did with group 1 and 2 and 3, I looked at why Spirit chose these groups this way, because I used to pull them out of a bag, which I'll get back to. That makes it fair and fun. And then for a couple of days, I did air sign, earth sign, zodiac sign. But I'm like, this is pick a card. This ain't necessarily, that structured thing like that. So today, it kind of was the middle of 2. So let's see, Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio. Okay, stubborn, right? Why didn't I say that about Leo, Sag, and Virgo? Virgo got the trust issues of Scorpio. And Aries, and you're like, oh, she judgy and biased. I'm talking about the planets. I ain't talking about people. Aries is alpha. Scorpio is like self-appointed alpha. And Taurus, I think even this little heart in this thing, I don't see Taurus for what people say, like stubborn and all that. I think they sweet. I haven't experienced any unfavorable Tauruses, but I can imagine thinking about the Hierophant card and talking about relationships or beliefs, how dark we could get. I will say that. And then I think what this is just my opinion. Taurus, Venus and Taurus, or Scorpio or Aries, they are very special, like as lovers. Some when it comes to gift giving, chemistry or something like that. So maybe like this giddiness is their connection, okay? And we need this protective stone from that Casanova shit, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with your tarot cards. Okay. We have it fits, and see that's why every time I look at this, I think Capricorn, but it's Taurus, right? You guys got bound, and in tarot, the bound is Capricorn. So I could be talking about some trauma bonding, obsession, restriction, limitation, and freeing ourselves. But if it was the freeing part of the devil card, I think the ropes would have been coming apart or something, right? But bound came up. I did some shorts last week and it said you versus them, and one said bound actually on this side and one said hope. So if you're the one that has hope, or if you're the one bound, or if they're the ones bound, whatever, in that particular reading, somebody had hope for something, but the other person was bound. Like their shadow, their work, right, self-work that needed to be done, drugs, sex, rock and roll, whatever they into, something got them. They ain't got no gun to their head, but it's something that got their attention away from whoever it was that had the hope. And look, as I'm talking, I ain't even got started with scissors at the bottom of the deck. And who has scissors today? Gemini? Yikes. Ooh, what if the scissors are going to cut the rope? Look, now I'm nosing. Let's see. The Hierophant. This Taurus is trouble. The key and the tower. Now, why would you need a key to the tower? It's not the house. There is a house card in this deck. You got the tower and the key. The key is an answer. The tower is unexpected. There's an unexpected answer or solution to your issue, group 4. The tower is also the house of God, and you got a key to it. Yikes. Then why the devil pop up first? Yikes. Maybe that's why the Hierophant always has a key around its neck. And maybe this talks about the wisdom, and the wisdom coming from somewhere else, or maybe having been separated from somewhere else because it want to think for itself. You know, you see the woman and the man falling out of the tower represents aspects of a human, but also the same two that fell out of the tower, where they end up. That's crazy, right? Yikes. And then in the Mary L. Tarot, the Hierophant is a nun holding 2 babies, and she got 2 keys, like they inherited these keys. So this is tied to breaking up, shit, moving in, moving out. I'll be practical and just baseline with it. But it also just talks about beliefs, lies, entitlement, access, all that. And we'll just start with that, because I ain't even asked for these cards, and y'all got cards I ain't flipped over yet. Okay, hibernation, somebody refusing to awaken to a situation. And then the other person is the opposite, where they coming up the hill to make a deal with God and get him to swap y'all places, running up that road, running up that hill with no problem. Let's see what else you got, and then I'll see what Bound has for us in the guidebook. Okay, that's why you had a key. You got open. So here's a door, and then you have, the 5 of Swords, but it wants to come out in the reverse. So we're upright. It could talk about split minds, arguments, being held back energetically. Somebody is being held back energetically. I think your person is being bound by black magic, some sort of energy. Um, Damn, that could have something to do with it. That was the warning for us. I don't always jump down the rabbit hole, but if anybody situation was influenced by some darkness, it will be group 4. Not gonna hold you. Shit. Now let's see what we got here. We have the reason why some of you could be experiencing delays or hardship in this relationship or a situation in life is because of what's being put into it, what's expected out of it, and the time that it takes to either receive or how many times we've given. So this is where, because I do like therapy for couples, marriage, whatever. When I tell people, I ain't finna give you no metaphors and start talking in circles and shit, or have you coming back 3 or 4 times. Let's be real. Get out a piece of paper and then honestly write down, I don't want to say tit for tat, but what are you putting into it? What are you getting out of it? I ain't even talking about your expectations, because some people are martyrs who feel like they're supposed to give more than others, which is false, but my opinion. And then you have some people that ain't giving shit, but then they'll argue, I don't ask for nothing either. So it's like, that's not what I asked you. That's not what we're talking about, because you ain't in a relationship by yourself. So you're not going to get away with that shit up in here. Well, I don't ask for nothing. So, why people asking me for stuff? It's like, you fucking idiot. It's what I want to say, but I don't. Right? But this is brutally honest day. So anyways, now those kind of people bound by their own devils, the demons, and the devil, they say, isn't even a deity somewhere horned up, shining, bright color red. It's actually human nature, humans' desires. It's us. It's a part of us that may be indifferent to our higher selves or some other like divine pure aspect of us, right? So then they would say that God is an ideology too. But that's another conversation. Somebody's bound. Something is bound. Now, I love a good binding, but I grew out of that because, one, I want somebody who naturally do the shit. It's like, I guess I couldn't say that. Well, it's brutally honest day. I could be weird. You know how people be into like extreme sports or like goofy shit, and they get so rich, they just do crazy shit that normal people don't see why they do that shit. But it's just like, my wants become more specific or extreme, or, just some shit that ain't supposed to be typical. I'm like that now. I don't have to be a part of some billionaire group. My love language is what's done naturally, right? I could bind the fuck out of you. But do I want to do that? No, because it's somebody out there where I could save my energy that may do exactly what I want or what's best for me naturally. Now, some people may say that take time. That's the law of attraction. It still takes some sort of energy to put you and that person in the right place at the right time. It's like, no, it don't. If you just walk in your light and don't give a fuck and be confident and all kind of other free, unwasteful things to do, it could happen. But I understand for others, it's like I want immediate results. I feel blocked. I'm obsessive and compulsive or dark as fuck. And I just want to bind him right now. I mean, because if you do, I can help you do that. I'm just saying it ain't my favorite because I'm like 2% narcissist, and it's like, ew, you gotta want to do it. You gotta want to be here, or I ain't fucking with it, So me binding a person is more like I made them do it, and ew, because I don't even like people like that. So that might help somebody. Bound. Let's see what we got. It's 23. Okay. 23 is 5. You also got 5 of swords down. Group 4, you got 2 5s. 55 is also connected to the gods. Uranus, Pluto, the actual god, the age of Aries, they say God existed. So y'all got some deep shit. Either way, 23 is also connected to Venus. I like Venus. And if you have or they have some placements that even Venus can't help or Venus tied up, I feel that, you know. But bound says, what binds you? What is keeping you from reaching what you want? Sometimes all that is left to do is to cut the rope. Damn, and we started with scissors at the bottom of the deck. Spirit, you're good. Okay. Undo the knot and set yourself free. See? Past life. Or some weird cheap ass spells you done already done that didn't half-ass work but still fucking you over and you didn't even get the person. So now you got to undo those knots. And if you be like, damn, I don't know what that bracelet is. I don't know where that lady went. Well, you got to come up with something else, beloved. You got to still some ritualistic thing to undo what has been done. And your person, because I said some of you guys, your person is bound by some other shit. They got to undo, or maybe you can help, you know. Some work may have been done on them by another person and it has them bound. I've seen that. Okay, so it's just like, who gonna get the fish? Is the bigger witch or whatever, because she done binded him up, he done binded her up, and you say they're your person and they bound like a motherfucker. So I don't know. But only you can do this. This chapter is for you and you alone. The freeing yourself part, okay? Your soul has wings to fly, but you cannot fly far if you're tied to the ground beneath you. You need to find a way to free yourself. There is so much more to do, to see, to smell, to hear, to taste, and to feel. There's a whole infinite universe just waiting for you to explore it, to seek out its treasures and secrets. These ropes that have you bound are preventing you from showing the world your true and pure light. Okay. Group 4. This sounds like, I think, was it 2 or 3? They had a message. If it could be related to a relationship, it doesn't have to be, but they had this whole, we ain't being true to self. It was 2 and 3. Yeah. So y'all might want to check that out. Not saying you're not being true to self. It just says that you're freeing yourself. And it's preventing you from showing the world your true and pure light. Because for you, group 4 is showing the world. For group 3, it was what others see. And for group 2, it was some sort of the same, like how they perceive. You know what I mean? So others are involved in y'all's situation somehow, if even just from a third perspective. You know what I mean? So the knotted rope may be a representative of a relationship, a deeply held belief. I knew that was there because that belief, that key, me focusing on Taurus and then Capricorn and then all these 5s or whatever. Yeah. A self-limiting thought, a part of how society is, which has you tied up and unable to move in the direction you want. That's deep. Because if you want a relationship, but you think people ain't shit, that's a conflict of interest. If you want a more favorable or soft life, but you think money is evil and working hard is a sham or whatever the fuck, those beliefs contradict each other. And who gonna pay for your soft life? Because you don't want a relationship, people ain't shit, and then you think money evil. So, you know, just trying to make sense of it. It ain't even gotta be just like that. It could be focused on what the book said, because I'm silly. So there is always a way to save yourself, to liberate yourself. Something has you tied up and unable to move in the direction you want. Possibly. Now, I feel strongly that this is your person that's tied up and ain't doing what they want, which is crazy, because if you want them and you hear trying to sneak peek what they think or what's going on, yeah, they tied up. So that means that you might be right. You could have a chance. This is your person, but they tied up and wrapped up in the world. Okay. Now, when it comes to open, which is also challenging because it's in the second position. So if nothing else is challenging, it's this door here. But you had a key. So that's dope. Somebody got a key. Okay. Let me see here. Look at that. And 5 of Swords could talk about an argument or something like that. So just imagine that. They're going to be slamming doors and arguing and shit because they're on drugs. I would just not like neighbors and shit like that. And you would think, oh my God, what kind of channel is this? That's what the fuck the card mean. I don't know no people like that. But you'd be surprised because I talk to y'all all day long. Like we all butterflies and lilies and shit. And y'all don't never resonate with where I'm coming from because y'all be on some other shit that I don't want to tap into every day. Because what the fuck is that? So I share tarot with you guys and my life with you guys because some of y'all, I mean, just admit it to yourselves. You don't like the life you got. So why would somebody tap into that shit every day? Talking about nothing. That's insane. We're going to talk about upliftment, encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Without coddling. Because imagine coddling some people who ain't doing shit. Ew. I wouldn't even do that to my kids. But open is 14. Ooh, so you got 23 and 14. Jesus Christ, group 4. 23 is 5. 14 is 1 and 5. What is going on? Okay. So let's see. A heaven wooden door, ancient and ageless, is waiting for you to walk through it. There is the door that, this is the door that guides, okay? This is the door that guards the room, which holds the infinite volumes of your past lives. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Now, some of you guys, bound, and it said you can be anywhere in the universe. You got access to other dimensions. And some of you, it's actually the Akashic Records or just getting more information so that you wouldn't be stuck, fighting, conflicted, or getting your ass whooped in this dimension. Yes. You can gain a better understanding of the soul you are today, as you will know your own backstory with far more clarity. See, boom, they just said it nicer. Do not fear crossing this threshold. The information you can access by crossing it is a mixture of light and dark and infinite grace in between. I feel that. Because, baby, this black stone told it all, I suppose. And now I'm going to have to buy some other crystals because every time I have the black stone, they're going to be like, I ain't choosing the black stone. Shit going to get real. If you're running from what's real, why you think you deserve a different stone? That's for the people who, deserve that stone. Anyway, here I go again. Don't block me. Past life regression will help you. Boom. I am the master planner. Okay? Because I was about to say I'm the master. And it was like, ew, that's kind of like arrogant. But past life regression. I've been talking about it throughout the intro, throughout group 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, it's 3 and 4 that I'm offering the past life regression services. Or at least check out the Quantum Healing Spiritual Lobotomy Station, where we do focus on the unseen, which is the chakras, the Akashic Records, meditation, light body activation, hypnosis therapy, because, man, without that level of divine intervention, I don't want to go against therapy as a person who practices, therapeutic procedures. But y'all know what I'm talking about, like textbook therapy. Some people go to therapy from childhood to adulthood, and it's just like medication. It didn't solve the motherfucking shit in your heart or stop the thyroids from being problematic or your hair from coming out. It coddled it. The prescription keeps you afloat, but it doesn't fix it. Not all prescriptions, not all medications, and by all means, I'm not giving medical advice. Please listen to your doctors, but also be honest. Has anything been resolved, or do you just take it because it's aiding you in possibly more time? So there's that, right? I'm not going to repeat any of that, but I figure I said that right. But yeah, the book literally says past life regression will help you to access the portal, to open it, and to reach for the memories it guards. Your past lives are waiting. They wish to be remembered, to share their tale with you, to help you understand yourself in far more deeper and meaningful ways. Give your past lives the chance and feel your connection to the universe expand and become brilliant in unpredictable ways. Hey, man, this says that you caught up in some shit that you think is true, and it is true because it was true, but it ain't true right now. And until you see that for real, you're not going to be unbound. I'm not going to hold you. And you can Google, YouTube, pray, ask your homegirl, or some other reader you think got rank over me and don't, you're fucked. Without activating those Akashic records, connecting to your higher self, and getting a grip on the present moment by understanding why you feel and think otherwise. I'm telling you, and some of y'all know that. So yeah, the Five of Swords, since we're being spiritual, that's when you can't get out the bed, your energy's heavy, you don't feel good, and it could be like it's literally sleeping all day, can't wake up on time, dragging. You know, it reminds me again, damn, I'm trying to stay away from like medical stuff, but it reminds me of spirits and energies, right? But when you go to a doctor, they tell you the actual, you know, what it is in this dimension. And when my sister was diagnosed, well, my god sister, I believe she has lupus and maybe some other behavioral things, and I do believe depression. She did, let me say that. I don't want to say she does, but at one point she did. And she told me it's like, it's the anxiety of having to do things that makes her not want to do them, not doing the shit. Like, I need to clean up, but I can't clean up because I'm exhausted about thinking about cleaning up. That may sound crazy to some people, but it makes perfect sense to me. It's just like something like just hovering on you, like sleep paralysis. When the old people say, oh, the devil on your chest, because you want to get up, but you can't get up. And sometimes you're trying to breathe, but you can't breathe. And it's just like a powerless split of I'm woke, but I ain't. See what I mean? Boom. So you could be in any of those situations, all of these situations, or your partner. And that's big and that's deep, man. So yeah, if you're interested in hypnosis therapy, past life regression, you can email me. And it's not even just about me. You can start by meditation. You can start with replenishing the energy in your chakra field, auric field. You can start with the unseen aspect of you that may strengthen the physical part of you to get to all of that shit. And if you ain't got the discipline to do all that, that's what we're here for, right? In group 4, we're going to individually pull cards for Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio, as I did for group 1, 2, and 3. So let's get a card for Taurus. Get a card for Taurus. Taurus. Okay. You have full moon and page of moons. So this is similar to the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups. Now there's something that's being asked of. And you have the 3 Wands. That tells me, Taurus, that, or Taurus cross-watcher person, the 3 Wands is definitely about finally making a decision. Okay, turning around, making that choice, getting away from that crossroad, or just being optimistic, looking forward to the future and waiting for something to come in. It's like there's either, it's like a bittersweet of, okay, it didn't come, but now, you know what I'm saying? I'm unstuck. I'm no more waiting, trying to figure it out. The truth arrives, right? Or shit, the time ran out. But it's also the road less traveled. The 3 of Wands does talk about like the initiate, someone that has a strong, deep, personal mission, you know, on this fucking planet, and how these little details are being left for you along the way. I definitely appreciate that. Where it may not have been time for something in the past, and that time may be approaching, because I'm noticing that this is like a crescent moon, and then it says, you know, by the full moon, there's something. It's going to be time to give it up. If you struggle with setting limitations, and or hesitate, it's going to be time to give it up. And if it's like, I'm going to give you a watch, since you don't know how to tell time that good, I'm going to give you this watch, and you go by this method, right? So that's what I have for you, Taurus. Let's see here. For Aries, get a card for Aries. Oh, okay. I said A and Spirit was being funny. That's cool. Ooh, the Wanderer. That's a special card because it's not the Hermit, and it may be the Star even. But you have the 9 of Stars. So the benefit of this is Beautiful. There's release, there's increase, there's unexpected income. There's also the wish on the star. See, if I'm wishing for a star and I'm reaching for the stars, they're either telling you to or letting you know that's what you're doing. You wishing and reaching with this Aries. For others of you, if it's personal, I feel that as the wanderer, you are an independent that are on a journey that really is going to ask of you confidence, and you will get increase for every favorable decision you make. I feel like it's hard for us as humans sometimes to detach and to go this special inner knowing type way. But as you do, you'll be rewarded. That's the gift. Sometimes it feels like solitude. Sometimes it doesn't feel fair. But your dreams come true when you detach from distractions. And I like that. Ooh. Okay. We got the lovers. I like that. Now that's good news. I'm not going to contaminate y'all and say, oh, you're reaching and wishing on a star. But there are two choices. So it's like release yourself from a contract, get paid. Stay stuck in that contract, you're reaching, wishing on a star. I ain't going to hold you. And then here's that Ace of Wands. That's my yes card. And we also have the Empress. So it's like no more being single, finally being chosen and receiving a yes for my Aries. All right. Or, we stuck with the Hangman. The wand would be the umbilical cord that connects us to the mother. And when the Hangman goes upright and has this awakening or whatnot, he's no longer connected to that cord and reaches some level of completion. That is at the bottom of the deck, so I couldn't leave that out for you, Aries. Scorpio. Okay, well, Spirit, okay, you kind of got two. I ain't going to hold you. So I thought you had one and Spirit heard my cry, but you got two as well. You got the Six of Stars and the Two of Wands. I love that. Support is coming in for you. If there's a conflicted or a confusing situation that you're going through, Scorpio, or with a Scorpio, when I said write down on each side what we giving, what we doing, there's that. And the Two of Wands does say, seeing the world as your oyster is the general interpretation, but intuitively, looking at this, it's fairness. It's about fairness and balance and being equally given and received. You know what I'm saying? I know Scorpios can sometimes have trust issues, and you may have to show them. You know what I'm saying? And maybe even put a little sugar on top if you like this person and you're dealing with somebody that may need kind of like, you know what I'm saying, for you to show them, because they may give a lot. They may love hard. And it's like, are you worth it? So reciprocity or reciprocation is here, as well as I love the fact that there's like, when I give, you giving. It's not tit for tatty, but it's kind of cool. So I like that for you, Scorpio. And I do hope that it helps. Until next time.